Welcome back to the channel. We've got Grandma's Subaru here. We got some kind of odd thing going on, if you can see it. That fog light you can't hardly see. Headlights are nice and bright. Fog light, not so much. Both of them are flickering. So we're not sure if it's a bulb or a loose connection, but she also has another problem. Brakes, right? She's got something going on with her brakes. And if it's an issue that I've come across before, there's like a grindy vibration, not every time. These brakes we put on with the slotted rotors, drilled, slotted, grooved, whatever, and the ceramic brake pads. And but what I've had in the past is the brake pad comes loose from the metal, and over here, I don't know if you can see that, it's touching on the outer portion but not the inner portion. So my opinion is the car sits a lot, that's why she don't have many miles on it. This is a 2013 Crosstrek, and it's got like 79,000, right?
I think it's 84.
You think it's up to 84? Ooh, she's been driving a little more. So it's pretty low mileage. Right, by now they'll be, almost 200,000 miles on them. But we put brakes on it. It sits a lot. These are exposed to weather, and so they get a lot of corrosion. My opinion, we should take it off. I tell her we should, bring it in, take the brakes, the calipers, everything off, clean them, file, clean up the edges, brush the rotor, paint it again. Just do that kind of maintenance, because you always get a lot of water and road salt and muck up in there, and the rotors, they take a hit. But we're going to take it inside. We'll pop the wheels off and find out what's wrong with it. My brother and I drove it last night, and we could hear it. He thought he heard it on this side. I thought I heard it on that side. Visually, I see a problem on this side, and I don't see a problem on this side. But the other night when she was over, there was a scrubbing sound, and we reached through here with a pry bar, and I pushed the backing plate away from the rotor. I'm not sure, she ran over something. A stick, something could have come up and bumped that, or, a stone. I don't know, but we pushed that away and the noise went away. So let's check this out, see what we got. I think I'll back it in the garage. We got that little, low-rise lift, whatever. It goes up a couple feet. And I'll get this up in the air. We won't have to use a jack. Let's tear this apart. So we're inside the car here, and I come across another problem. There's no check engine light. No issues like that. But listen to this. I'm going to take the wheel. Hear that? Sounds like an old-time vehicle, don't it? I might ask her to do this while I'm crawling underneath there and listen, because it sounds like an upper strut bearing plate. But we put struts on this a couple years ago, right? You got it aligned? Something like that. Let me climb under there while she rotates this wheel. Sounds pretty bad, don't it? All right, we got her up on the lift safely. And I think the steering wheel's unlocked. What I want to do is check for play on everything and see if we can replicate that noise without weight on the car. Right there's a little. There's a little. Hopefully it's not the rack. Notice it turning to the left. I might need a helper so that I can get up under there and make sure. It could be a dry ball joint. And she took it in for a New York State inspection, and the man installed sway bar links, and he took a wheel off, and then after that she noticed the noise. I don't know if they're related, but we're going to try to find out. Let's go over on the driver's side. See if we can see anything, hear anything. Hear no evil, see one, you know. Let's see what we got here. Sounds pretty bad. But noise travels. See, it's got new sway bar links in there. And what did we install? We did inner and outer tie rod ends, ball joints, struts, wheel bearings, calipers, pads, rotors. We did it all. She took it in for alignment, and it drove nice for, I don't know. Is it 2 years now? What year did we do it?
I think a couple of years ago. Yeah.
A couple of years ago. But normally it should last better than that. I don't know what you can see there. Yeah, I don't hear any brake problems. Just rolling the tire. But I'm going to pull off both wheels. And that's what I'm concerned about, is this noise. That's a noise that sounds terrible inside. And there's nothing to grease anymore, you know. So I don't know. I'll start checking things out. I'll pull the wheels off, check the brakes, and then don't find anything, I'll put it back on. I want to find out why this backing plate on the driver's side here got bent. And that's possible that when the inspection was done, something was leaned on it. It's been a couple months since you got it inspected. June, something.
It was good until...
Yeah, it was June. So let me take these wheels off. They look like they're, I don't know what size they are, 19 or 21 millimeter. Let's see what damage we can find, right? Tires look good. I like this little stool. Brakes, kind of warm. She just drove over here. See the new hub here, new assembly. Brakes, they look worn down. I ordered some. This looks like a 15, and I wanted to see why this was bent. Not rusted or nothing. Let me get a wrench. Socket, we'll take this caliper off. What I should do is take the rotor off grind on that a little bit, get some of this glaze and rust off from it. Before we put that back on. Get a light so I can see in here. I believe we put new speed sensors in it. I'm not sure, I don't remember. I have to check her service. And we want to check the bushings on the A-frame. A lot of these subframes start to rot off or whatever, and bushings get real bad and it makes a lot of noise. And you know, they're not the thickest metal here. So I'll get a bright light. We'll get looking in there and see what I can find. Well, just what I thought is, this is the inside pad, and it just rots away. I don't know, road salt gets right after it. The inside pad is like nothing, and the outside looks like it's got more than half life. Nothing wrong with the outside pad. This inside one, well, let's see what we got left. She must drive like a race car. I don't know. Rough on brakes. See that? There's not much left there. This light right is it's about a 1/4 inch on the top side, and it's worn down to nothing on the bottom. There's nothing here. It's like a right on an angle. That's odd. So what I'll do, I'll pop these off, take the whole caliper bracket off. Looks like about this light staring at me in the eyes. Got probably what, a 17? No, more like a 19. It is an 18. Okay, not a lot of them are 18s. And these slides, they work free. The hardware looks good. Yeah, I think we put it together right, but I just don't know why it wears so quickly. Oh, it's not 18. It's rust. And this one can't get in straight on, so let's see what size it is. I thought it was 17. What do we have? This is 16, yeah. Sockets in order. Yeah. Yeah. Looks like a hammer. Let me get a 6-point, probably 17 extension, see if we can get them off in there. Alright, so all I found here was the inside pad was worn down really bad. The outside one is good. It's glued down well. The inside pad, this side is worn down, it's glued down well, but there's some rust jacking right here. And that's where rust gets behind it and it pulls that pad off. That's what happened here. And if you put a straight edge on here, like this bar, this squealer, that's to notify you by making that scratchy noise, that it's time to put pads on it, was touching the rotor. You can see it right there. So I got Bendix brake pads I'm going to put on. I'm trying a different brand, ceramic. The rotors, it's not pulsating, and those are grooved and slotted, recently new. So I'm just going to take a flappy disc or something and get the rust off the edges, clean them up a little bit, put them back on. I'm going to take and push the double piston back, and the sliders work good. There's nothing wrong here. No indications of anything wrong. The hardware kit looks good, but I believe they're on the new pads too. We'll put new ones on. And a lot of times what I do, because we're in the rust belt, is I come in here and I clean these all up nice where your new pads sit, because you get rust build up and then the pads don't slide back and forth well. So I'll probably clean them up too. And then I'm going to do this to both sides. And I think we got two problems. I think the pads are worn down, and the second problem is that squeak, and we got to isolate that if it's a ball joint or what it is. So what I got here is we got some Bendix brake pads. I got them on the old Amazon, but they're a little better than the last ones, I think. We got new slides. Let's see if there's a difference on these. There's two of the squealers. Let's see if all four have squealers on them. They do. So that's good. Yeah, all four of them. So we don't have to worry what direction they go. Let's see here. So they'll go in like that. They have a back on them. They're all bonded. They don't use rivets anymore, but rush jacking is what we get around here. So won't matter which one goes on. What we're going to do is put our new slides in, set our pads in. I'll probably have to push that. I got a caliper tool. I can push them pistons back. I'll have to push them back a little bit, and I'll show you why here. The reason why is, boy, that light is so bright. Have automatic dimmers on it. Here's, see that bad backing fell off that, I rotted away. This outer pad, look at the difference. We're talking double. So this looked like a lot of meat on there, but it's not. And the inner one I told you was right down. So let me get them put on, and we'll put the caliper back on. All right, you saw me. New pads and new hardware kit. I ground the edges here. That was all built up with the rust. Nothing really wrong. Couldn't find anything wrong. The pistons went back nice. I used my caliper clamping tool. Worked good. Threw the pad in there. It's a dual piston. Slide it back. And then, so this side is all done. So I saw the rotor had damage on the other side. So we're going to go across to this passenger side, put the brakes on, do the same thing. I don't know. I might do hyper, time lapse, whatever. And then from there, Dawson's home now. I'm going to ask him to help me. And we're going to try to locate what this squeak is. I got my stethoscope and I listened and I couldn't quite tell, but it was so low to the ground. Now that we're up here on the lift, it's up in the air a couple feet. I think I can roll under there and pinpoint it. Maybe we can grease something, shoot some grease in a ball joint, see if it cures it. If it is, either we order another ball joint or we just try to keep lubing it once a month, something. But I think they're Teflon whatever now, and you know, you don't grease anything. So see if I can make that noise happen while Dawson's standing here. Right there, hear it? It's really loud when you're in the car. So head over to the other side, do the same thing. All right, Dawson took this side apart, and this is the worst side. This brake pad, there's nothing right there, nothing. So I think we've done rotor damage. Maybe, maybe not. We'll find out. This caliper feels a little seized on there, but it could be just this rust jacking. But you can see this angle. See how that goes down small? Mm-hmm. That pad is like cocked right in there. And this outside one looks good. And this is what I noticed is it's only touching about half of the rotor and there's nothing in here. So I thought that this pad let loose.
It's wearing, yeah.
Yeah.
Uneven. Yeah.
But with the caliper off, look at these pads are rusted right in there. So he's probably going to take a hammer, gently tap on that and get them out. And then he's going to take these two 17 millimeter bolts out to get that bracket off. Grab them sliders and see if they move. Right here. See if these move back and forth. Don't pull them out of there. Do they wiggle, move back and forth? Yep. Top one. So they're not set up. So that pad is super rusted, isn't it? So go ahead and tap that. If you want to use the pry bar, just try not to hurt to use that too, the hammer, and tap this way. Don't go that way though. Go out. Like that. Go out so you don't break the pad. I want to see what the pad looks like. Boy, she's tight in there, huh? That's our New York rust, man. You gotta take your brakes apart every year. They apply and then they stay right on and wear right out. Alright, now this should come out. I was hoping to do it without breaking the pad, and yeah. Ugh, there it comes. Grab that. No? Guess not. Alright, he'll go ahead and take these two 17s out. We'll just knock them out once we get the bracket off. And I'm going to use two wrenches. The two wrenches. The 17, and then he's going to hook the 19 on the 17 for some torque. And then, yeah, the bracket bolt right there. Get it all the way on there. You got all that rust in the way. You got to hammer it on there. Rust! The bottom one you get a socket. The top one you cannot. Get your wrench straight. You're crooked. Get your wrench out straight. Get your wrench straight. That way. Get it straight. There, like that. There. Then he's going to hook on the top part. No, like that. And lift. Without breaking your knuckles. Tight, huh? And then he's going to take them on off, and then we're going to take a look at these pads. Yeah, Utica clubs made in Utica still. That's pretty good stuff, isn't it, Dawson?
I don't know.
He doesn't know. I think the neighbor likes it real well, and he buys it. My mom's neighbor. He has it on hand, and I had one, and I thought, ooh, that's good. Dawson's pulling this caliper bracket off now with the pads in it, and we're going to show Grandma what they look like, because this is real bad, Ma, on this side.
It is.
Yeah, real bad.
That's the one you thought was good.
This is the one that looked bad, but it's real bad. Now pull straight toward you. It should come right off. No, straight out. There, like that.
You know, what do you want to think?
Now let's take out and take a look at this. All right, we got the inside pad. The backing rusted right off, didn't it? Look at that, it's gone. Nothing here. And you see what happens is this is bonded to that. See that right there? You can see right through the pad. See my finger in there? You see right through that. Wow, show this side of it. She only had 10 minutes left. I tried to get her to get going on it for, what, a month now? You've been monkeying around. It's touching the rotor. I got to look at the rotor now, but take your hammer and give that a little tap inward. It'll fall right out. And then, look at that. It's a round hole. She had like, see, it's touching out here. Ugh. You had 5 minutes of brake left. This will go this way because of these clips. Coming. Try not to crack it, because try not to crack it. There, because I try to save them, and the reason is, tell me what the reason is, guys. If you ever had this happen again, and she says, I got a brake problem, and it's Sunday, I say, bring it over, because I kept your old box, and we got 2 good pads left in it. I don't know, how many brakes have we put on this car? I would have to say she bought it brand new in 13, and she thinks we put brakes on it over 5 times, and I think so too. And you see this shiny squealer right there, Dawson? See how shiny the end? This is rusty. Look at how shiny. So that was hitting the rotor. That was some of that noise. That's a rotational noise. And hardware, looks good on it, but we're going to put new on. These pop right out. Pop them off. We're going to run the real wheel on it. And then I'll bring the rotor over. Uh-oh. Let's see what we got here. Not that bad. It's got rust on the inside. I don't know. It needs rotors, but I don't know. I would have to say I don't know. Do you get 10,000? I don't think you get 10,000 on a set of brakes. Now, this is Grandma that drives short distances, so that's the problem. Is, you know, she's not highway driving. She's not on them a lot. It sits in the driveway, and then she'll run to the store. Sits in the driveway, run down, get gas for the lawnmower. That's it. So, brakes take a beating. And what we're going to do is we'll go ahead and clean these up. Clean up the bracket, clean this up, put new hardware in, put the pads on this side. Alright, Dawson did this side. He's done everything so far. So he's cleaned up the sliders with a little brush wheel. He's knocked the edge of the rotor rust off. Now he's assembling everything. Well, it looked like the sliders were loose on this caliper bracket. But these do not move. These are seized. When Dawson did this, it looked to me as they were moving, but they weren't. These are brand new calipers. We bought brackets. It was a whole kit we put on. These are February of 23, and they're seized right up. And so we're going to heat this up. And we're going to see if we can get the pins loose. If so, we're going to put them in the brush wheel, clean them up. I might have to run a drill bit down in the slides, see if we can get this freed up, but we can't put new pads on in that condition. So these are a little warm. We had to heat them up. But see, now they're nice and free and greased them up. What we got to do is we took off the little rubber boot so we don't hurt it, and we heated that up. So now we're going to put a little more grease in there. I got some brake grease. And then we'll put them rubber caps on, and that hooks here, and that way this will move in and out. And this will cure her brake job. We'll go ahead and put that on. All right, Dawson's putting the new hardware in. Check it, make sure that it's straight right here and here so it doesn't touch the rotor. Like you feel, see how that, you did put them on nice and even. And then see, we just put these on, the rubbers, and that keeps this in here. See how nice they slide now? We greased. We're going to wipe that excess off, but he's going to snap the hardware in, put the pads in right here because we can see it right in the vise. All right, so he put the pads in here. He's got his sliders on. Everything looks good. He's moved now. Everything's clean. We're happy. Now he's going to put the bracket on, set this over the rotor. All right, Dawson's putting the caliper bracket back on. He's having trouble lining the bolts up, but it's usually in the light. You can't see what you're doing. While he's doing that, I'm going to be right here too, but you see that flickering fog light. Both of them are the same. What I'm going to do is I think there's two bolts up under here to remove this panel down so I get my hand in there. And I bought 2 bulbs. These bulbs are about 2 years old, aren't they, Ma?
Yeah.
This car goes through bulbs big time. Headlamps, marker bulbs, fog lights, and brakes. This thing's noted for, right? So I'm going to get under here. There's a couple little clip bolts I got to get out, and I'm going to reach up in and see what I can do with the fog lights. All right. Kind of on an angle here, but I got this down. One side of the LED's flickering and a whole bunch of water come pouring out of it. So it's obviously the bulb because part of it's working. Not all of it. There's a lot of LEDs in there. Looks like there's probably 40. I don't know. I'll count them. Mom just said he knows how to change oil, which is true. And now we're getting to use brakes, right? And he helped me do the fog lamps once before. These are Ala lighting. And these are the same ones we bought last time. That's what it says. Even though, uh-oh, they don't look the same. Ruh-roh. Ruh-roh, guys. I guess they're not the same, are they? Definitely not the same. We may not be able to do these today. It said Amazon, it said fits your car, fits 2013. That isn't right at all. What's the part number? 3157? Well, that's kind of a bummer. I was going to pop this bad boy right in there. Let me look it up. I don't know. It said we purchased previously. I don't think they fit my truck because I bought them for my truck. I'll look it up. Well, this is a farce. At least that we didn't get her over here just to do this. These are a push-in. They're a lot easier. The style that's in here is a clip and turn, squeeze and turn. And then the LEDs on this come out the end. The LEDs on this come out the side and the end. So what is there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this side's lighting. There's 5 times 6 is 33 bulbs in this one. And there's only 5 of them that are flickering. And the same thing on the other side. So maybe what I should do while he's finishing up over there is I'll pull this bulb out and I'll test it. Make sure we do have the proper voltage. Hopefully 12 plus volts coming out of it. And if we do, I'll look this up and find out what these actually fit. I did order them for Nissan. But I think this is the Subaru. I'll look it up. Bummer. Have to have her come over and do this again. But I'll check the voltage on that anyways. How you doing, Dawson? Almost done? In the glove box, there was one. I don't know if it's a good one, but it's a 2504. So I think I'll go ahead and pop this one in there. And if this works, well, this looks brand new. Maybe we had one blow and I bought a 2-pack. I don't know. This looks brand new. Not dirty at all. Let's see. This has squeeze clips. So you squeeze the 2 and it pops right out. And if it was halogen, you don't want to touch it. On this one, it probably doesn't matter. See, squeeze and pull. Where's my hammer? There's water coming out of this bulb.
I wonder how water got in it.
Well, the lens on that side's cracked. This side's not cracked.
I like how that lens got cracked.
I don't know. Let's see. We'll plug this in. See if she lights up. Oh, same thing, guys.
What?
We got 2 sides lit on this one. So this bulb must not have been good.
I think I saved it just so you know what to order.
Probably. We should mark them better. And then we only got 2 wires. So let me get a voltmeter and I'll test the voltage. All right. What was the voltage on that? Dawson, help me.
11.64.
11.64. So we got good voltage because obviously the headlights are on and it's not running. And so it is LED lights. We need to get the proper number. Now that we have them, we're going to order the proper ones. So what we got is he's got the pads on and he's got his little spring clip out. Everything looks good. Rotor set on there. Now, and see our sliders move really free now. I like it. So now he's going to take this caliper tool, put his brake pad, the bad one, up in there. The one that's shot, totally shot. Set that in there. Flip it over, this part. Set it in there, like that. Get it down in there. Put it down in between one. Probably have to back it off a mile. Hang on to that. So unspin that thing. Set her down in there. Pick it up. Pick it right up. Spin this down in. Tool's not quite ready yet. Are you screwing it down? You gotta screw this part into this. No, screw this into that. There. And then that's gonna compress it. Otherwise, I just use a big pair of vice grips or channel locks or something. I got pliers. You went going the wrong way though. You gotta loosen it. Give you a little more room. He hasn't done this before, so once he does one, he's gonna know how to do them all. I'll have him do the brakes around here. And then that's gonna push them pistons back. And if it gives you a little trouble, like it's going crooked, just set it back over here and do this side. That's a 9/16. So if it starts going real crooked, like slide this pad over to catch this one first. Not quite on both of them. There you go. And that'll push them pistons right back. That'll go about a half hour. See, it's going a little bit crooked. Alright, now I'll put it on the front one here. So back that off. I'm sure they have a tool for this that's better than the vice grips or this one even, but this is what I have. And it works. You gotta loosen it more. And then put it in the front part and push both pistons back. And they're going back pretty easy, right? Right?
Yeah.
Not much pressure. So it's just the caliper so tiny it just flops all over. You got your brake pad in there, right? Oops, you did have. Flip it over. There you go. You don't want to tug on your brake line. Let's see it. How'd you do? Take it right out. Hang on to your callip. Set your callip up there. Yep. Now she should fit. And the only thing he's got to do is right here. You see these? You turn these just to clear right there. Is it back far enough or not? If not, you got to go just hair far. Yeah, those are really thick pads. That's good. So he's going to finish cranking that back, set them on, tighten the two bolts up. So he's got this little part. You can't have it turned. It's got to be the right direction. He's tightening them up. And they're
14 millimeter.
14 mil. And then we're going to pump the brake pedal, make sure we get good brakes. So brake fluid's full. It was really full when he backed them pistons back. And now he's going to put the tire back on. And we're going to see if we can find out what that noise is. And I did order the correct fog lights, and they shipped the wrong ones. And it shows a picture of the same box, same part number, but a different style bulb. So they'll be here Monday, but the car won't be. And we'll go and we're going to try to get this squeak to happen. Now, when you rotate left and right, here's your upper strut bearing right here. And this is all brand new strut. We did the whole cartridge, the whole thing with a spring. And then you've got the lower wheel bearing. Or, that's foolish. The lower ball joint, sorry. And when you rotate that, and those are new. So if we can get the sound to happen, I'm going to spray some oil in there and see what gets quieter. And hopefully it's not having to replace a strut or something. Ball joint, might be a little easier. I don't know. But we shouldn't have to do an alignment doing that. And I don't think she's due for a service yet. It's got a nap on there. Who did the oil?
Walmart this time.
Walmart? They put a nap on there. That's cool. And then fog lights that come. We're going to check that noise, and then we're going to road test it for the brakes. All right. Dawson's going to rotate this. I sprayed the tie rod in. Try that. That didn't help anything. So the moving parts we got. Actually, the CV axles stretch a little bit there, too. Try that. Where do you think that sounds like?
I hear it over here, but
You do?
you sprayed it there, so try this tire, right?
Well, that's just a tie rod end, so I don't think it's a tie rod end. I'm thinking ball joint or upper strut bearing first. So the problem with that is I'd have to poke a hole in the boot to get some lube in there. And these are non-greasable, which is stupid. Why they got to do that? The olden days, you put a couple shots in every oil change, you know. I'll think on what I want to do next here. I have a syringe here that we put penicillin in the cat before, and I bought like a 6-pack at Tractor Supply. And I put some lubricant in here, and we're going to squirt that in the lower ball joint. This will leave a real tiny, tiny hole. And we're going to do one ball joint at a time till we can locate the noise. And we'll probably try the tie rod ends too, the outers. All right, I injected right there. You can see it leaked a little bit. Now go ahead and move it. See it bubbling out there a little bit. Going too fast. Get it to make the sound. Right there. All right, so that's not the problem. We're going to move on. The sound's still there, and we did the tie rod and the ball joint. So now we're moving to the other side. Right, now turn it. I did that lower ball joint. That made no difference either, did it? So the only other boot we're going to do right now, stop right there, is we're going to do that outer tie rod end. All right, I did that. So now we've done both ball joints and both outer tie rod ends. The inner tie rods, we can't get to them. And I think the noise is still there, right?
Yep.
Try it again. See if you can tell where. Is it higher up? Once I find out, guys, I could put this on YouTube and tell everybody this noise and say where to find it. Got to be in the upper strut bearing, right? We're going to move up there now. So here's our, I took this little rubber boot off. Rotate that wheel a little bit. Rotate it. Turn it. And then I'm going to try to get some lube down in there.
I don't hear it.
I don't hear it now either. And I put a bunch of lube right there on both tops of the upper strut bearings. Those are new a couple years ago, but we don't hear the noise, do we? I don't think oil will hurt the rubber any, but we're going to take this out for a road test, see what we got. Well, I'm happy to report the Subaru's out of here, and so far there's no noises. My mom drove it home, said it worked fine, and so we will find out when it'll be back. And if it's coming back for the noise, we're going to have to look into the upper strut bearings, and the fog lights will be in, the little bulbs will be in Monday, so she'll come over after Monday, and maybe I'll go for another test drive. So thanks for following along, and we'll see you on the next project we're putting on the lift.